picked the hell spot to park that thing. Oh God. Pour it in. Pour everything. I hate this job with a passion. This is the worst job ever made. Stevie had that big cribbing in there, and once it falls off the big cribbing, well, then you're just screwed. But the good side of the big cribbing is when he fell, instead of like me falling out of sight, he just fell and landed on that sycamore. But then as I'm driving out trying to get out, it finally climbed up, and then the machine's just trying to lay over. So I shut the motor off so the water ain't running to the back, you know, or motor oil ain't running to the, missing the front of the engine. Well, yeah, it is trying to turn over. That's why I can't steer it up the hill. I ain't got enough power to swing uphill. It's just so far gone. It just ain't got enough juice in it to do what it needs to do now. We're gonna hook a dozer on the front of it and swing it out that way up the hill, and then it'll fall back down. Okay. He said, you guys up. What do you think of that, Raji? Yeah. If I can ever get this camera right, I'll record getting it out of here. All right, where we're at right now, this is that spot that I cut with Brutus. It was a bad spot that it just, and it looks terrible. It looks, I mean, it's just awful. And I end up cutting this video off. I'm over it. I mean, I've seen enough. I don't want to relive it again. The damage to equipment, everything, and all this stuff trying to get this out. And of course it makes you, it's like, oh my God, we logged it wrong. You know, we did this spot right here, it was logged wrong, definitely logged wrong. The spot I got Brutus stuck in the other day, it was logged wrong. Them two spots should have been logged different. But I mean, after something like this happens, you're so disappointed in yourself and everything that you're like, daggone it, do I even know what I'm doing at all? You know, and then we get done, and me and Roger seeding around the other side. Now, I got a picture before we pulled it out later. It took Brutus that evening. We had to get a main line and double it as a basket and hook it to Brutus to get it pulled out. And we skidded it across the top of a tree. That's how bad it ended up before we got it out. We ended up having to get it out and then settle all the settlement out. And of course, it's in the drainage, but it's set there. I mean, it's awful. But it's set there, it's contained, it's got wood in front of it, so it's held back till the silt. I mean, it's sand, it sets up like concrete. So as soon as it dries out, it's set up hard as a rock. But it's not till after we got done with it, and this is the worst of the whole job. But after we get done with this, and you go driving around to seed the property, and you see all the residue left, Just take a ride with me in the Gator and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Alright, here to give a good idea of what this ground looks like. That's this winter. And he had plenty of residue on, but the water just ran to the edge of his field. It's already done that, just to be sitting through the winter. That's how erosive this thing is. If you look up here, looks like it's all over. Look up there, see a little bit of dirt coming out there? This is pretty much flat right here. I mean, there's barely a slope on it. And look how bad that eroded right there. That's our part of the finish work there. Of course, we've seeded everything, but it's just now getting the growing season, you know. Here's the top of the hill. And look, the dozer tracks, it's done washed off the dozer tracks. We got plenty of fescue, you know. I mean, look, it's starting erosion ribs there and everything already. So everybody was asking, or everybody, I always say that, I'm sorry to say it all the time, guys. But a bunch of you was asking me, what about the finished product of the ditch? Now here's where the first ditch finish was. And you know, you get the water around moving limbs and stuff like that and trying to make padding and matting and stuff, and you wonder, you know, is all this worth it to stay down in the ditch instead of just winching them out? Well, look at it right here. You've seen what that ground is capable of. And look up through that valley. There's nothing but residue and leaves all down through it. There's only one spot, the very tip top of that knob running. Let me see what my finger's at. Right here, you see a little bit exposed ground, which we'll go seed that and water barred, you know. But everywhere the hillside is, nothing but leaves. See that? And I know this ain't a textbook clear cut. It wasn't in the contract. We're just trying to make as much of a clear cut as we could. That'll have to be got later by some other third party. But we just are what the deal was with this is we used to clear cut all we could while we was logging to do the best we could, and we didn't want to slow down, you know. And there's places you don't want to drive the cutter either if it ain't profitable, you know what I mean? Because you'll just stir up more ground for nothing anyways. And then people was asking me also, did the ditch get cleaned out? Well, here you go. There's a ditch down there. You can see it down. I don't know if you can see it good enough, but we filled it out from all the way up around that curve there. We cleaned the ditch out with the dent all the way down through here, all the way to the end of the property. Of course, over that knob there's a whole nother one of these. And we done the same thing with it. And you talk about soft bottom. Whew. Soft, wasn't it, Roger? Here's more of it. We're right in the middle of the rest of it. There's sediment down here already that comes from basically nowhere. The difference in elevation ain't over 2 feet. There's one where it's coming out of the woods, eroding across the crops, and then back into here. It's just like a beach. I need a beach ball, so neat. We could play some beach volleyball. Here's where Big Dad's water bars are. These ain't been here but for 2 months. And look at the erosion. And it's at the top of the hill. Here's the next water bar. Look, there's the middle of their field. What will you do with that? That's just this winter. That's he's got every spring you'll have to work that over before you can put crops in. Here's his other water bar a little farther down the hill, 2 months. Look at it. Looks like a 3-year-old water bar.
Day of this job, we didn't get any recording or anything. It was crazy. And this job fought us all the way to the very end. But this is the last video of the job, and I wanted to thank everybody for all the hard work the loggers done and stuff to pull all this together. Our last day, everybody was, man, what a team. But all of us is sick of it, ready to get out of there. And it turned out good in the end. I mean, the spot you're seeing in this video is the worst spot of the job. Thank gosh. I didn't know how else to do it. I mean, everybody was out of ideas. We didn't know how else to get it. In the end, the hindsight thing on the where the Din Din and Brutus got stuck, the hindsight in the end, I think we should have done that a little bit different there. But other than that, I think we did fine. But thanks, everybody. Have a good one later on.
Swing wide when you get around your tires.